Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Link costume walkthrough, where I'm actually going to be talking about the individual pieces because I'm basically done. Oh, what is that doing there? Okay, I'm going to be walking you through this costume piece by piece, and piece number 1 is the hat. It's just basically a triangle. I only put one seam on it. I could have put 2 seams on it, and they would have gone on the sides, but I went with 1 seam on the back. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It is just a little cone of fabric. This is the tunic. You are looking at it inside out right now, but that is what it is. This right here, because it's inside out, they go in like that. But when I'm wearing it right side out, it hopefully should stay in this shape, which is what I want it to do. I actually bought some burlap to sew on the inside of there, because that's what Twilight Princess Link looks like. But I decided I don't need to do that, at least for now, but I have it. I bought the burlap. You can see on the sleeves are way too short. If you are using this for reference at all, your sleeves should be much longer. The reason my sleeves are so short is because I literally was at the very end of my fabric. I didn't get nearly enough fabric, so I have these really, really short sleeves. And they don't look as good as I would have liked them to. If you look really close here, you can see this seam, just to make the sleeve a little less humongously wide, because the costume is also a little tight on me, again, because I was low on fabric. So the sleeves looked funny being all big and puffy when the whole thing is kind of like really shrunken in my body. You can see here we have the flaps. And again, I did the flaps because I didn't have a lot of fabric, and the costume would have been way too tight and I wouldn't have been able to move my legs had I not done that. The next part I'm going to talk about is the shirt that goes underneath. And it's just a collared shirt. It is Cherokee. And if you look really close, you can see it says school uniforms, and it is an XL because it is actually child's clothing. Little interesting fact: if you are short or skinny, you can occasionally buy children's clothing to make costumes, and it's cheaper than buying adult. But yeah, this shirt was designed for fat children who go to boarding school and need long sleeve attire to do so. I'm considering taking off the buttons and sewing this together, which is kind of how it looks in most of the games. But that's the nice thing about a Link costume, is it doesn't have to be perfect, because there's so many different iterations of Link. People will know what you are, and you don't have to be accurate to every single game. These are thermal pants. Just what you would expect them to be, just this material, like that, with a normal waistband, basically long johns. And these serve as the leggings. Pretty simple. If you can find child leggings, again, find large child leggings. That's what I did for my old Vegeta costume that I've worn to a couple of conventions. But sometimes you can't. Next up are the gloves. This was a little hard for me because I'm kind of cheap. It was really hard for me to find gloves that I thought suitable for the Link costume. I really would have preferred really long gloves, but I know those don't exist. And I suppose I might be able to extend them with the fabric that I used to make my belts. So I'll consider doing that. That's actually a really good idea now that I think of it, so I might do that. And these are actually quite good gloves. This is real leather. It's very, these are actual, good gloves. I bought them at Burlington Coat Factory. I know, random. I was just walking around a mall and I found them. Originally $50. $50. Reduced price to $12. And for me, that was really difficult for me to decide, okay, I'm going to buy these gloves that are worth $50 and cut them up. But I did it because I really needed to. And you can see hanging out from the underside is this, and it's just really, really soft. I don't know what to call it. Plush felt, not felt. I don't know what it is, but it goes on the inside of the glove, and I think it was attached in the fingertips. So when I cut out the fingertips, there was no more of an attachment. So once I pull my hand out, the little lining comes right out. Something to note if you're doing this yourself, wherever you're going to cut off the finger, and for me, I actually put my hand in it and made little reference marks at my knuckles. You want to cut these fingers way shorter because they will stick out and look very bad. So you want them to be significantly shorter than these. And yeah, just use one hand for reference. Make sure the other glove is completely symmetrical. You want it to match up perfect. Lastly are the belts. I made these myself. Out of this material. It's like a pleather, I guess. And it's kind of stretchy, which is good because it means I can get fatter and still wear my costume. But it is not very thick, as you can see. And I didn't do anything about reinforcing the main part of the belt. If you have more time or you just want to be better, I would definitely double layer this stuff. You can also just totally buy a belt. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a belt, so I made it myself. As you can see, I just cut. Probably the smarter thing to do would be to make the width of the leather the width of the buckle, but I made it wider because I wanted a wider belt and I couldn't find a bigger buckle, so this was my solution. And I just cut little notches on the side, cut little notches in there, pulled it over, sewed this in place. This is what the other side looks like. That is my little belt hole, which I reinforced. You can see I reinforced this part and made it slimmer because it needs to be able to go in the buckle. And it goes in there. Dooba-dooba-doop. Dooba-dooba-doop. Doop-dooba-doop. And now it's a belt. Okay, what? Oh, there we go. Now it's a belt. Yay, it looks like a belt. And then I might add like a loop of leather right here. But the other thing I've been doing is just taking it and wrapping it and tying it. And again, that is the nice thing about a Link costume. Not only is there not one thing that you have to be completely faithful to because all Link costumes are different, but in theory, Link's outfit is handmade, whether by his grandmother or by someone else or passed down or whatever. Basically, the idea that there was really good craftsmanship on his costume is not great because he didn't live in a time where people manufactured stuff. Now this is my shoulder belt, which I will lay out for you, like this. So this goes over my shoulder, like that. And for anyone who's tried to make a Link costume and they just like use normal belts, one thing they'll have noticed was a problem is that this part, the part that goes over down by your side, just sticks right out because that's not the shape of your body. So using just a normal belt doesn't really make sense. So what I did is I sewed this right here like that. And that goes at your side so that the belt goes up one way and up the other. And it just makes it a little better. And I also did a little one, you can see, only affected it that much. But I just did a little one at the shoulder as well, again, so that it would lie flush to my body and wouldn't stick out so much. And that is really all there is to a basic Link costume. Like I said, you could put a layer of burlap underneath of the costume, and I still need to get boots. I might end up using the fabric from my belts to alter some shoes to make boots, but that is what I have so far, and now I'm going to put it on and I'm going to show you. But yeah, that's my Link costume. Expect the video soon.